Kani kadai ka Batisi TV, bat pidang pet ya ka kubor baman kasni, belawan rasha pi da ka umrupa, ringkat bat ka orange Nissan, lom sopo near Fabricate Shillong.
New Nissan Kicks. Bookings open now.
Ka Meghalaya State Legal Services Authority harangkat kajinge tray lang bat katnat labor jangga sarkar jilla haka arf khandai tare gubnai jilli arjar khat khandai kala penlong ye kajinge ter ka ba shisngi halor ki hok bar ki jingman toy jongki nong tray ki ba tray haki jaka tray bella bampat itu da ka sarkar lani ki unorganized sector ya ka bala penlong ha yojna bhavan auditorium main secretariat building Shillong. Chief Justice jongga yeng bishar ka Meghalaya High Court Justice A.K. Mittal baru balongru Patron in Chief jongga Meghalaya State Legal Services Authority ulalong Kongsan haka jingpli yagani ka jingethir. Laban kadaw hangni baka jingtmu jongga ni ka jingethir kalong ban pentip syaki nong tray haki jaka tray bella bempat itu da ka sarkar halor ki hok bat ki jingmentoy ki baki day ban tip. Hagani gasngi lai don langru unong bishar HS Tangki ubalong judge jongga yeng bishar Meghalaya High Court baru balong ru executive chairman jongga MSLSA bat ki officer na kitna trekam baper ka sarkar jilla. Hagani gajinyalang la samru ya ka baibam syaki khon jongi nong bala ki batray hagi jaka bala bempat itu ka sarkar henrei ki bala register ila de haka Meghalaya Building and Other Construction Workers Welfare Board.
The labor laws in India can be clubbed into, you could say, 4 groups. One is wage-related laws, to do with wages. Second is the laborers' working condition-related laws. Thirdly is the laborers' social security laws. And fourthly is industry-worker relation laws. Now, these legislations and laws are in place, but there are a lot of problems for access to justice of these unorganized workers. So, although there's a plethora of laws, wage-related, working condition-related, social security-related, industrial, like I said just now, but the question remains is whether the benefits under these laws are reaching the unorganized workers in the country. And if not, whether there can be an effective, accessible system under this law by which an unorganized worker can seek redressal for his or her claims, disputes, or any other grievances. Now, this problem is further compounded because, as I said earlier, organized sectors are most underprivileged, economically, socially, and otherwise. So, whether a minimum worker, whether an organized worker is getting minimum wages as fixed by the government, if not, is there an effective mechanism for ensuring that he is paid the minimum wages as prescribed under the laws? Now, these laws provide for penalties also. But the penalty as provided in these laws is like, suppose in this act, suppose Minimum Wages Act, 6 months imprisonment or fine of rupees 500. Or both in case employer pays less than the minimum wage. So as regards remedy for the workmen who is not paid minimum wages, the Act provides an authority appointed by the government to adjudicate such claims. Similarly, to do with interstate migrant regulation, it provides regulatory measures. But in case of contravention by the employer, like an interstate migrant, it only provides a penalty of rupees 1,000. And there's no remedial forum for these aggrieved workmen. So, though they are now under these acts, though there are, you could say, a large number of quasi-judicial authorities, you could say, they've been created under various labor laws. From authorities to labor courts to justice tribunals. However, the concern remains is how are these laws implemented in India, and whether the benefits under these various labor laws are reaching unorganized workers. Because as the victims of these beneficial laws or beneficiaries under these laws are poor, illiterate, mostly illiterate, displaced persons with no access to legal system. Now, when you look at the other aspect with regard to various efforts have been made under the aegis of the state and district legal services authority to provide access to justice to indigent accused persons who provide legal aid in criminal cases. And so to some extent, even civil cases also, people are provided legal aid when they seek help from the district legal service authority or from the state legal service authority. But however, when it comes to implementation of labor laws, as to whether an unorganized worker is getting the minimum wage or not, or whether interstate migrant workmen is private benefits under related law, or whether construction workers getting benefits under the building construction labor law. From my own observation, I really don't see there's any concerted effort from the part of maybe the legal service authorities or any authority which is working in this regard. Because the other difficulty, I think, because the forums to address these problems is the laborers have approached the labor inspectors. So, yes, labor commissioners, labor courts, labor tribunals. But the fact remains that this large number of workers, they're not in a position to secure the various benefits, protections under various laws. So, I think this discussion we're having today at this gathering, it's very, very important. Because to find, like Mamsky said, to discuss, to find ways of maybe how the legal service authority and the government departments, they can work towards elevating the rights of these people, the conditions, and to ensure in some way or other that, like the MLSA in other aspects, have done wonderful work, especially with regard to criminal under trials and people who have no access to justice. But in this manner also, if some attention also is given to this sector, so they can have some access to justice. And I believe that the NALSA also, they have laid on some scheme for strategic intervention by the State Legal Service Authority, including provision for legal aid. So I've been informed that the plan of action includes setting up special cells to organize and create legal awareness, literacy programs, training programs, to coordinate with government authorities in relation to registration of the extension of schemes to the workers, to facilitate and provide assistance in filing, processing, and furnishing application, and any other function that the state authority prescribed to them. So that way, we hope, as the executive chairman and everybody, we hope that as a legislative authority, we can maybe start a new chapter, especially here in our state, where there's a lot of floating migrant labor, a lot of unorganized sector, a lot of domestic people who are working as domestic help, whose rights do not know, are not even aware of what rights entitled to. So, and that another aspect which this seminar today is very good is that there's a coordination between the government and the legal service authority, which holds very positive signs. So, and augurs well, I think, for the future to provide necessary support to this sector.
An unorganized worker is a home-based worker or a self-employed worker or a wage worker in the unorganized sector, and includes a worker in the organized sector who is not covered by any of the acts pertaining to welfare schemes as mentioned in Schedule 2 of Unorganized Workers Social Security Act 2008. The term unorganized worker is defined in Section 2M of the Unorganized Workers Social Security Act 2008. In this context, I recollect one of the last notes left by the father of the nation in 1948, expressing his deepest social thought, which goes something like this, within quotes. I will give you a talisman whenever you are in doubt or when the self becomes too much with you. Apply the following test. Recall the face of the poorest and the weakest man whom you may have seen, and ask yourself if the step you contemplate is going to be of any use to him. Will he gain anything by it? Will it restore him to a control over his own life and destiny? In other words, will it lead to Swaraj for the hungry and spiritually starving millions? Then you will find your doubts and yourself melt away. Unquote. To my mind, education is vital to the future of India because it is the most important element in converting your youthful population into a national asset. The maximum this labor in the unorganized sector is because of the poverty as well as because of the education problem which they don't get in their infancy. With over 550 million Indians under the age of 25, if we educate and train them, they can take advantage of all that 21st century India can offer them. Rather, they will constitute a demographic dividend that will endure India with a productive workforce for the next 3 decades. Once again, I would like to express my sincere appreciation to the Meghalaya State Legal Services Authority and the Labour Department, Government of Meghalaya, for organizing such an important program, and I believe that the learned resource persons who will take part in the technical session will further enlighten this House on the various aspects of the topics under consideration. And I would like to impress upon one and all that we should ensure that the beneficiaries of the various schemes, welfare schemes, as well as the exercise of their rights, should be evident after this program is over with a thorough follow-up plan of action.